To answer your question, yes, we are two adult women. And yes, we love Bieber, and that's why we're publicly stalking him.
We're crazy.
Hey! Maybe he's what America needs. One nation under beams. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We're gonna be two less lonely girls. We love Justin Bieber, and let us be clear, we're not being ironic at all.
Hosted by Corinne Fisher and Rosebud Baker.
Welcome back, everybody, to Two Less Lonely Girls.
I'm Rosebud Baker.
I'm Corinne Fisher. Wow, we
And-
finally got down to doing that in unison.
Yeah, we really did.
I forgot because it was like I had to put in my mind that we say everybody.
Yeah.
That was the key.
Yeah.
That was the key.
Yep. We've got a scoop for you. Coming down off this brand new Justin Bieber, Ed Sheeran song, which really has made my life. We got a scoop. Charlie, Jesus Christ. We got a scoop from a listener. It's a DM.
Yes.
It's deep.
So
it's
this
dark.
entire episode is based off of a tip from a listener. Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And again, if you guys ever have tips, you can send them in. It's like, you never know what's going to be interesting to us. So truly, like, whatever it is that you think might be cool, like, send it in.
Yeah, and we'll obviously, we'll devote 30 minutes to one person's tip that very well could be completely untrue.
Yeah.
And we'll run with it.
We'll run with it.
So yeah, we just have to put the umbrella over this episode that this is all allegedly.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Any lawyers listening, I'm waving my hands around.
It would be hilarious if lawyers listened to this. Okay, so let's just get right into it, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to keep the listener anonymous, but
But she said, I said, is it okay if we do an episode about this? And she said, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
We got this on Wednesday. Celine Dion scoop. That's all caps. Okay, so this scoop has gotten me reevaluating the Katy Perry kiss situation. If you guys don't know, Katy Perry and Celine Dion kissed.
Was this at the Met Gala?
Yeah, I guess so, on the red carpet.
Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know, but would love to hear you on this. So I met my friend's friend, whose dad used to work as Celine Dion's chauffeur for like a decade.
Oh, chauffeurs always have the best info.
Yes. Apparently, she used to have young female escorts coming over once a week, even when Renee was still alive. That Renee is Celine Dion's ex-husband or late husband. They must have had some sort of arrangement or whatever, but I find it strange that no one ever heard of it. Of course, we can't be 100% sure it's true, but the source seemed reliable. Anyway, I just think it adds something more to the weird behavior at the Met Gala. Not that it would be weird for two celebs trying to get publicity to kiss on a red carpet. I just think there was something odd about Celine's attitude. She looked a bit like a grandma greeting her grandchild, but then going for a kiss on the mouth? I don't know. Also, considering the somewhat weird relationship she had with her very old husband, Charlie, can you shut the fuck up, please? This is news. Charlie, also, considering the somewhat weird relationship she had with her very old husband, it makes it more interesting. Like, I don't want to judge her sexual orientation, but doesn't it seem odd that she would either be attracted to very old men or to young women? I know it's a delicate subject, but it makes me think about myself. Being a survivor of a violent sexual assault, I developed after the event a strong desire to be with women. I know we can't compare rape and marrying an old guy, but I don't think anybody was doing that. But I feel like both could make someone crave the security and delicacy. Is that? I think she means delicate nature that femininity represents. And in Celine's case, maybe being with another woman could give her the power she never had in her relationship with this very old guy. I also read once from a non-reliable source that we are psychologically attracted to other people who share what we like best about ourselves. This is a bit far-fetched, and maybe part of Celine's attraction to women could be that she didn't have enough time to be a young woman and she's trying to catch a glimpse of who she used to be by having sex with a 20-year-old. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. Not judging her in any way. I mean, good for her if she could have an exciting sex life despite marrying so young. Just find it interesting considering the whole background. You should definitely dig into this. There's some crazy stuff in that relationship. Like, she was 12 when they first met. Interesting.
You didn't know that she was 12 when she met Ronnie?
Did not know.
Oh, I knew that. Because I've talked about that before, but that might have been on Guys We Fucked when we were talking about like R. Kelly, Aaliyah style things.
Yeah.
As far as like age, I don't think they weren't. I mean, I think it was a thing where basically, like to me, it sounded more like what's the word? Not breeding, when you're prepping someone to assault them. What is the word for that? There's actual specific word that people use, but yeah, that's kind of like what it seemed like was happening in that relationship. That, you know, maybe nothing happened until she was of a semi-proper age, but she was definitely being prepped for it.
Yeah. Oh my God. I didn't realize that.
Happens a ton in the music industry though, with these producers. Like a similar.
Was Renee a producer?
I think he worked in he worked somewhere in the music industry, I believe, because like there's a similar things like with like Mariah Carey, Alanis Morissette, and like I guess it was maybe like Glenn Ballard in that situation. I don't want to like point fingers if I'm getting names wrong, but yeah, a lot of people have these kind of stories, and certainly the issue with Kesha and Dr. Luke. That's, you know, who she, you know, Praying is about, who the reason she didn't make music for years because Sony was holding her to her contract with Dr. Luke, even though he assaulted her. And yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's fucking crazy. So Celine, how did Celine meet Renee?
Here, let's look. Yeah, it's somewhere in the music business.
And also, I've never heard Celine actually speak.
You never have?
No.
Oh, I have. I've seen her in concert though.
I mean, I've heard her like accept awards, but I can't think of her voice. But like, I know that sometimes, and this might be a stereotype, it might not be based in any science, but I know that when someone has been molested or has been sexually abused, their voice kind of sounds like a younger voice, like they go into a higher register. She doesn't talk like that. She has a pretty like deep French accent. Oh really? Yeah. Have you ever seen? Her accent isn't like. What do you mean? Like a deep?
No, she has like a deep voice with a thick French accent.
Oh really?
Like, have you ever seen who does her on SNL? I can't remember anyone's name today. But yeah, the impression. You ever seen the character on SNL? The impression.
No,
because it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So she met Renee when she was 12 years old.
I do want to say metaphysically though, that makes sense that a voice would stay higher. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's true across the board, but for some, it does make sense because if you think about it, sexual assault and sexual abuse, it is designed to silence you. Like, and so for your voice to not be fully developed, you know what I mean? To not speak in with strength in your voice is, I just think that's wild and kind of like a perfect example of how like our emotional wounds affect the body, you know?
Absolutely.
And how the body carries our emotional trauma. Anyway, that's an interesting fact.
So I am looking it up. Renee was a music producer in Canada, very powerful. When Celine was 12, her family sent him a recording of her first song. It's in French, so I'm not going to even try because I did not get a good grade in that class. But translated, it says, "It was only but a dream," and the rest is history. And then they've been working together since that time. I guess he heard the track and was blown away. So this is like a real fairy tale story.
Except for the fact that he's an old man that probably...
Yeah, they began dating when she was 19. So that's not... I mean, he was 45, so there's still a huge power play. Obviously, he's a lot more successful and powerful at the time.
Well, began dating publicly.
No. They began dating publicly much later than that. They began dating publicly 5 years after that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I think truly at 19. Because from what I've heard, even about Ronnie, like I don't think he was molesting kids or anything like that. Like, it was not a pedophilia situation. Although it is weird to know someone from childhood and then they develop into a woman. But, you know, I've seen kids who I looked at and go, well, they're going to be hot when they're older. So maybe I'm, you know, we're only human.
I don't know, man. 45, 19, that's fucking insane.
I mean, I know it's so weird.
That's
I think
insane. That's like
we see it so often. I think I'm maybe just used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. But like when you really think about it, it's like if you're 45 and you're looking at a 19-year-old, like, yeah, you can recognize that person's hot.
Yeah.
But like you can't, you're 45. You got to go, oh, right, I'm 45.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a part of you has to go, yeah, oh, my bad. My dick hardly even works.
Well, most
anymore.
men don't want to do that, though. That's the thing. Most men don't want to acknowledge the fact that they're 45. And it's,
yeah, well, I don't want to acknowledge that I'm an alcoholic, but guess what? It's like...
But then I think, like, what's an appropriate age gap? Because, like, my boyfriend's 15 years older than me. And then I think, like, is that weird? Because, like, to me, it doesn't feel weird. But I'm also in my 30s.
Yeah.
And so I think it's, like, it's not like I'm this, like, pretty young thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, I'm a full... By 30, you're a full person.
I think 15 years is, like... and it depends on what age you are, but like
kind of that's my max, I would say.
I think from the time you're 25, 24 to like the time you're, you know, whatever. I feel like at that point you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want. Like,
right.
But like, I look at it and go like, dude, her brain wasn't fucking fully developed until she was 26.
Right.
You know?
I guess I think like with the Alanis Morissette case, I always don't think of that one as weird, but that's just because you hear the album that she made when she was 19 and you go, holy shit, she's functioning at 19 the way I wish I could function at 33 mentally.
Right.
The way she unpacked everything, like when you look at that and you go, what the fuck was I doing when I was 19?
Yeah.
Not that.
Right.
I think I was dressing in a cheeseburger costume and making a film on a Bolex, honestly. If I properly...
Yeah. Yeah, honestly. But I think I look at it and I just go, if it's somebody that you've known since you were 12 and you're 19, something was going on. Like some other shit was going on.
Yeah, and it says here her mom really was opposed to the relationship and tried everything she could in the beginning to tear them apart. But obviously, especially once she started getting power in the music industry, like at that point, like your mom basically has no control over you.
Yeah, and when it comes, and it's interesting too, the way that it's worded, like tried everything that she could to tear them apart.
Yeah.
It's like, you mean protect her daughter. Like, are people telling this story as if it's like a love story? Because that's coming directly from Celine and Renee and their PR person being like, no, this was this like incredible love story. But it's like, yeah, you're trying to, I don't know. It sounds a little bit like, sure, it could be true. But to me, for someone to be 12 years old and then all of a sudden by the time they're 19 be fully dating he must have been in his 50s at that point, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, when she was 19, he was 45. So then math forward from there.
Okay.
You know, we're not good at that. So let's not try to do public math problems again.
Absolutely not.
This is interesting, though, because I'm reading this. It says in 2002, Renee was sued by a young woman named Yun Kwan, who claimed she was sexually assaulted by him during an alleged incident at the Imperial Palace in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. He vehemently denied her claims, obviously, which was smart because, which was smart because the whole thing turned out to be part of a wacky extortion plot concocted by Kwan and her husband. And then Kwan ended up being sentenced to a minimum of 28 months in prison in 2004 on charges of extortion, conspiring to commit extortion, and as a witness soliciting a bribe. Her husband was convicted on charges of conspiracy, extortion, and soliciting a bribe only a few months later and received a similar sentence. That's wacky, but who knows what the fuck? Who knows, like, if they could have just said it was extortion and it was real. Like, you never know with these people. With celebrities, like, anything goes, and you can't truly believe anything you read because the money and the power is just inconceivable to the average person.
Yeah. And also, like, it makes perfect sense. Like, the extortion claims is, like, that's so what
that's what your defense has to be.
Yeah.
There's no other thing. Like, if you're rich, that's what it has to be.
Charlie, go to your place. Go to your place. Honestly, rude. Nope. Go to your place.
I can't. I'll get in trouble, Charlie. Charles.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like, so she went to, how long was she in jail?
28 months was what that lady was sentenced to. I don't know what she actually served.
That's fucking crazy, dude. Like, and you know, you're like, you begin by being like, oh yeah, there weren't a bunch of like accusations or anything, but it's like, then all of a sudden you get one and it's like, you wonder how many others there might have been, because there's never just one.
Right. And listen, on the flip side, 100%, once you are famous, once you have money, there's always going to be someone who feels like they were slighted in your life, whether or not you're a good
tries
person.
to get money out of
tries
you.
to get money out of you, tries to hurt you, tries to get something from you. It happens to anyone. That's kind of like that's kind of like, you know, that your things are going well when that starts to happen. Honestly, it doesn't make it feel any better, but nonetheless. So but that's just interesting because I actually didn't know that ever occurred. Not that I'm an expert on Celine Dion and Renee, but I feel like I know, like when I really test myself, I actually know more about pretty much every celebrity than I think I do.
It's like when you go to a shitload about celebrities.
It's like when you go to a country and you're like, I don't know French, and then you're ordering for the table in French.
Right.
Because you're forced to.
Yeah. But this whole like escorts, female escorts thing, I wonder if he actually did know. Like this DM was like, maybe they had an arrangement, but I'm like,
I think he would know.
You do?
Especially because Renee was, if you have to remember, he was really, really ill at the end for a while. He was very, really ill when she was working in Vegas. And so, I mean, like, there's no way he was fucking. I mean, he was already so old, and then on top of that, really ill.
Well, what I wonder is if there was some sort of thing where, and this is dark, but like, you know, when you've known somebody your whole life since you were a child, and then you end up being married to them, I wonder how much control they have over your psychology. And I guess I'm wondering if she was bringing them back for him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which is super dark.
But that happens a lot. I mean, it was just outed that's exactly what was happening in Mel B's relationship with her husband. And and there was no power dynamic there. If anything, you would think Mel B would have the upper hand in power because she's the more famous one.
Yeah.
But yeah, her husband was basically like forcing these weird threesomes on her.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Well, I didn't know about this. What happened?
I mean, basically just like he was abusing her. I don't know to the extent physically, but I think definitely a little bit physically, certainly mentally. And he was like kind of like forcing her to like have threesomes with women that he would bring back, and including I think one instance with their nanny. It's always a fucking nanny involved. Yeah. So like, I don't know why everyone just doesn't learn to get a nanny like they have on, what is it, Brady Bunch, like Alice. Like everyone needs an Alice. Like why are we hiring like young hot chicks? Like
honestly, let me tell you something. If I get famous and I have kids and I'm married, we are getting the hottest male nanny anyone's ever seen.
You're gonna fuck the nanny?
I am gonna fuck the nanny.
I mean,
I'm gonna do it for women.
Yeah. It's so erotic to the point they're like, I don't even like women, but if I had a hot female nanny, like it's just so it's just been put in our brains.
It's a fucking porn.
I'm like, I want to fuck the nanny.
Yeah.
Because she's just there and doing like, you know, cleaning and helping. I don't know. There's something about it.
Yeah. With her like totally untouched vagina. You know what I mean? I mean, in terms of birth.
Sweatpants, boobies out.
Like she's just never given birth. She's just, you know, brand new pussy. And it's not fair. You can't, you got to hire a male nanny if you ask me. You got to hire a really hot male nanny who knows how to.
But what man are you trusting around your children who's straight? That's the problem with men.
Yeah. Well, I'll find one. I'll find one. I'll find it. It'll happen.
So when you were reading that DM, I started thinking about, okay, so yes, to confirm, it was a kiss shared at the Met Gala, where Katy Perry, if you didn't know, is wearing a full cheeseburger costume. I do love her. What a nutcase.
Oh my God.
She's completely off her rocker. Then I started thinking about...
Like you at 19.
Yes. Then I started thinking about, Katy Perry's song, I Kissed a Girl, and I liked it. Then I started thinking, like, maybe that was actually, like, that was like her first song that broke her. Like, maybe that's about Celine Dion. Maybe Celine was the Renee Angelil to Katy Perry back in the day. And then I started going down. And then on Entertainment Tonight, they posted that after they shared the kiss, Celine Dion, who is currently 51, Katy Perry is like, I think around my age, so like early 30s. And then Celine tweeted, I kissed a burger, or on Instagram maybe. Yeah, Instagram. I kissed a burger and I liked it. And then she put a cheeseburger emoji and then a yellow heart emoji alongside the photo of her and Katy Perry kissing.
You see the photo?
That looks very friendly, but apparently it started a little grandmother-like and then went a little more intense. I mean, there's so much cheeseburger costume in between them. It can't be that sensual.
She is grabbing that bun as if it's a tit.
Yeah, she is 100%. And, Celine's look is very like kind of chic lesbian these days. A lot of
power lesbian
suits, power suits. Yeah. And so then I was like, I wonder if it's ever been talked about or, who I Kissed a Girl is about, kind of like, You're So Vain, Carly Simon.
Right.
Like, has there been chatter about that, or was it just a vapid pop song? And then I found a 2017 interview on Vanity Fair, which says Katy Perry says there's more to I Kissed a Girl than everyone assumed. Because she got a little bit of heat for kind of like her portrayal of, queer women. Obviously, there always has to be something. And she said, I'm just a singer-songwriter. I speak my truths and I paint my fantasies into these little bite-sized pop songs. For instance, I kissed a girl and I liked it. Truth be told, I did more than that. So Katy Perry then, on record, obviously has at least explored her sexuality with women.
Yeah.
And there was a feministing article that was kind of talking about Perry's lyrics in general that said they often reflect the trivialization of queer female sexuality and the cultural norms which state that female sexuality exists for the pleasure of men. So there's some complexities there that we didn't know about that song.
I mean, I definitely, when that song came out, I remember being like, ugh, this is so for dudes.
Exactly. And just like the way Katy Perry is presented.
Yeah.
She's changed a lot. She's come into her own because she came to us as a very packaged pop star.
Yeah. And
now I think she's finding her own way a little bit.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy though. I do wonder, like, because Celine is a weird person, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's a real weirdo.
I think so, but I mean, I can't imagine anyone having been in the industry as long as her not being weird. And also, I mean, this is weird to say because it feels like this is something Celine would say about herself, but truly has an extraordinary talent. There are plenty of people who are famous and are just kind of like had good luck or had good management or whatever. But I think Celine is an example of someone who has an extraordinary talent that is, it's extra. It takes you to the next level. Like truly, like probably it never comes across anyone who sings better than her.
Yeah.
And that's
Whitney Houston,
and that's special. I mean, of course, there's some people, but yeah.
Dude, I listened to the Star Spangled Banner, like Whitney's Star Spangled Banner from like 1980 something, maybe early 90s, 80s. Anyway, I listened to that probably like once a month, where I just go on YouTube and I watch it and just go, what the fuck? Because it's just so fucking good.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone handles that extraordinary talent in different ways. Like, again, we see it like kind of overpowered Whitney. People, I think Mariah Carey, I know people will fight me on that, but I truly think she's an example of just an extraordinary talent. But again, went off the deep end. Celine Dion is weird, but I think she's a little more grounded than most people with talent of her level.
You think so? She doesn't strike me as a grounded person at all.
Mentally. Like, meaning like, didn't let herself go to drugs or like the kind of traditional ways that we see people shoot themselves in the foot, I suppose. Like, yeah, I think she's a weirdo and she definitely believes her own hype, but like it's not hype, it's real. So she can believe it. That's why I don't get mad at people. Like if you have an extraordinary talent and you're not humble about it, I'm not mad.
She strikes me as somebody that is completely disconnected from her soul.
She's also French.
What do you mean?
Like, if just French Canadians, I mean, I don't like French Canadians. There's like, I don't understand French people. Truly.
Okay. Yeah,
I feel like there's a disconnect. Like I was even performing for a bunch of French tourists the other day and I'm like, I don't even know why we're here. Like we ended up finding common ground. But for me, like out of any like tourist, I always just feel very confused around French people.
Oh, I feel like that around Germans. I feel
there
like
you go.
They don't understand sarcasm.
Yeah, there's just some people. Oh God, that's true. If you ever fucking try to watch Heidi Klum, watch a stand-up comedian on America's Got Talent.
Oh God.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
You okay, Charles?
Charlie's sleeping and he's speaking in his sleep. Yeah, it's crazy to me that she would do that. I don't know. I'm part of the camp where I think she was bringing these women back for him.
Yeah.
And I think that's just what I think. That's my feeling, not based on any facts whatsoever, other than the tip that we've gotten. And the fact that she was so young when they met. That's what I think. Can you Google Celine Dion female escorts and just see if there's anything?
Oh, I already did. I had more. I just didn't want to take over the entire episode.
Oh, no. Give us
I was
facts.
hard looking crazy because then after I thought about the Katy Perry thing, and I was looking up, searching Celine Dion lesbian, Celine Dion female escort. I couldn't really find anything about the escort. The lesbian had a couple things, but I also remembered, and we reported about it on this podcast, she created that gender neutral clothing line a while back. Celine, remember it?
Celine,
no.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time thinking, what a strange move for someone who we don't, usually when people have something that a cause that they get behind, we hear about it a lot. Like Kathy Griffin, LGBTQ.
Yeah.
But like Celine, I was like, oh, that's a weird move because I never really heard her being involved in LGBTQ charities. And again, it could have been something I missed, but usually you kind of know that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so to me, now putting all these pieces together, like, oh, these are like little steps to maybe accept herself, to improve society's thoughts on LGBTQ people. And she got a lot of heat for this. And it also speaks about how she comes from a very conservative family. So definitely a family that would not accept that sexuality, like her coming out as a lesbian or even bisexual. Then there's a blind item in the Data Lounge, which they do a lot of LGBTQ stuff. It says, this world famous singer, not just a performer. She is a vocalist who takes her craft very seriously. It's paid off too. She has had an enduring career at the top of the charts and is fabulously wealthy. Our shocking news comes from someone who is very close to the singer. Our singer has been married and is a devoted mother. However, there is another person in the picture. Our singer has a longtime girlfriend. The relationship with her husband, friendship, business, and procreation. The relationship with the girlfriend, love, and sex. And basically, everyone was guessing that it was Celine Dion in this. There's other guesses, of course, Kelly Clarkson, Pink, etc. Pink feels too much like a lesbian, so she's definitely not a lesbian. That's my thoughts on her. Like, she would have just come out by now. Yeah. And then in 2017, there was talk that Celine was having a romance with one of her backup dancers, Pepe Munoz.
I remember that. I remember that news.
So I looked it up. Number one, his name's Pepe. And then number two, the way they're holding arms, just looking at Pepe, the things that they did together, which was like go to fashion shows. Pepe's gay.
Yeah,
so,
Pepe is definitely gay.
I don't know. And there's nothing.
Also, he has the name of like a poodle.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, the only other Pepe we know is a romantic French skunk. So this to me, like, and if anytime someone starts reporting that someone is having a romantic affair with someone who like the world is obviously gay, that makes it you seem even gayer.
Yeah.
So that's another thing. And then the last piece is from, again, some of these sources are questionable. This is something called Foxella. Our long married celebrity discovered she is a lesbian. Again, these are like blind items. It is always interesting when this permanent A-list celebrity singer releases a new album or a New Year's falls upon us, because it is usually when she also says hello to a new lover, a female lover. Our long married celebrity discovered she is a lesbian about 3 years after she was married. Her husband didn't care because he had more eclectic taste when it came to sex. So that ties into what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And his wife was not very cooperative or good at giving him what he wanted. Oh, so maybe he just completely got his own people. And you could,
I think what that means is she wasn't 19 anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, touche. He found what he wanted in a string of very well-paid escorts and hookers who his wife signed to very strict confidentiality agreements.
Yep.
Meanwhile, our celebrity started off with just a foot or two in the water, barely even a toe, because she was so scared of being discovered. A bit of a cruel lover, our celebrity has moved on over the years and now prefers women in college who are looking to work for the celebrity for a year or two and be her plaything as they travel the world together, or just stay in bed for days while the staff takes care of the children and the student takes care of her mistress. This process.
So here's the. I need to know if there's anybody that knows someone who worked for Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Like.
Anybody on the
that
staff,
listens.
yeah. And I mean, also anyone who worked at Vegas, that, you know, her Vegas show, such a big production. There's tons of staff there. They're seeing them in and out. Even I saw Renee leaving when I was 21 in Vegas. Like, so he was going every night to the shows while he was still healthy enough to do so. And apparently this process has been going on for 2 decades, a steady stream of students from only 2 locations in the world. I wonder what that is. Now, though, there are whispers that the singer is tired of the endless parade and is ready to settle down with one who has now been with our singer for just over 2 years, which is a record. There is even talk that our singer will actually come out and doesn't care what fans think any longer, or her very conservative family. And so that was from, I don't know, pretty recently. I would say like the past couple of years that article was from, based on the things that we're reading. And that makes sense because in the past like a couple years, I think we've seen Celine like giving less fucks in public situations.
Yeah.
There's been videos of her acting kind of wacky. And now I'm thinking back to a video of her at someone's concert. I don't know who it was.
Lady Gaga.
Okay, yeah. And remember there was some kind of unidentified female next to her.
Yeah.
I don't remember her being like particularly young or hot, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't remember what she looked like at all, but I remember them mentioning that there was some woman next to her.
And even if you guys are just like in your Google searches, or if you're looking at Celine Dion pictures and you see like kind of a non-famous young hot, or not even, you know, just young, maybe, who knows her type. Hot is, you know, up to your interpretation. Just screenshot it and send it to us, because I think if we can see, like, just take a look, because if it's constantly a different person, usually if you're working with an assistant or, you know, you're a team, you're going to have at least a couple years of the same person.
Yeah.
So if we see like there's just so many different people, that to me goes hand in hand with this.
Yeah.
This is fascinating.
Crazy.
I love stuff like this. Oh my gosh.
I know. I want more tips.
Yeah.
So anyway, if you guys have more, just send it to us. We are at Rosebud Baker, at Philanthropy Gal on Instagram. You can DM us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
also, like, whenever somebody DMs you and me both, it comes up in my top requests.
Oh, good.
So if you guys just DM the both of us together.
Yeah, because sometimes I miss it and then I go, because I have a lot of people asking me what lipstick color I'm wearing, so I need to filter through those first to get to the tips.
Yeah. Let's see. What's making you less lonely this week?
Okay, so this is a weird one. It feels like it might belong on another podcast, but I'm going to put it on this podcast. So I don't watch a ton of porn, but I was watching porn last
First of
night.
all, I love the way you opened this up.
Thank you. I don't watch a ton of porn, but I was watching porn last night, and I was trying to find something new because I love Casting Couch, but like it makes me worried about the gals. And I came across this video of a porn star named Paula Ray. She's Brazilian, and for the first time ever, I smiled while watching porn because she was having such a good time. Like truly. Like, I mean, she's hot as fuck, but like, and also she's fucking a hot dude, which really helps because you really rarely see both people being attractive. But like, yeah, it looked enjoyable. It looked fun. All her body parts were real, which I do prefer that because it just seems like you're not changing yourself for this industry. Like you're just, this is who you are. And I mean, it does help that you were born like perfect. So that was also helps.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a point when I was like smiling because I was like, she's enjoying this. It's playful. There is kissing. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And I was like, who is this woman? How have I never seen her? I don't know. Like, and they were speaking in I'm guessing Portuguese if she's Brazilian.
Yeah.
And that was great because I didn't need to hear like any like scripted porn talk. Like I'm over it. It just sounded like pretty and nice and they were having a good time. And then there's a bunch of videos featuring her. And I was like, this is so great.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. So I was like, this is what I've been looking for the whole time.
Yeah.
That's why my favorite American porn star is Kimberly Kane. And that's also the reason I love her because she actually looks like she's having a good time. And like, she'll go and do things like spend a weekend at a bunny ranch where you can actually like pay to have sex with, like, but like she enjoys it.
Yeah.
Cause she kind of took over and like makes her own custom videos and really like took her career into her own hands. And she's married and like sometimes does scenes with her husband and stuff.
Okay.
So that's what's making me feel less lonely because I had just kind of like just stopped with porn for a while because I was like, I don't think these people are being treated well.
Yeah,
I was
dude.
upset.
Yeah, I can only watch porn that's animated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't do that, but
I'll watch animated porn, but other than that, I'm like, no, I can't. And even when you're watching animated porn, you're like, this is animated, so it doesn't feel real. So it's like,
right. Yeah.
what is making me less lonely? Okay, not to plug another podcast, but this doesn't need plugging, but I've been listening to Oprah's Super Soul Sundays, and I'll be honest with you, I really, really love it. Like, I've done the self-help thing for so long that I'm like sick of it, you know?
Yeah.
And every time somebody talks to me about like affirmations or whatever they're like listening to, I'm just like, great, good for you. Like, keep it to yourself. But I was talking to somebody last week and they were like, yeah, you know, I try to, you know, if you're able to convince yourself of negative things, you can convince yourself of positive things also.
That is true.
And when it's put to me very logically like that, I go, oh yeah. So I just like have been feeding my head more positive shit. Mm-hmm. And I listened to this woman, Tara something. The episode is called Educated. Okay. And it's about she was raised very Mormon and she was abused by her brother.
Jesus.
And like didn't even know what, like, she was raised so isolated that she didn't even know what slavery really was until college. And she talks about how education completely changed her perspective and she doesn't talk to her family anymore. And she has like done all of this healing and she's just the most amazing woman because you can hear as she's telling her story how just the lack of judgment that she puts on herself. Mm-hmm. And it's really, I don't know. I was just like, I love feeding my brain like good shit. You know what I mean? I love feeding my brain like positive stories of transformation and change. And so I've been listening to that and it's fucking great. That's pretty much it. Reading
I love it.
And listening to Super Soul Sundays. It's kind of changing the game for me right now.
Do you like Brene Brown?
No.
You don't? See, I hate self-help in general. I think it's all bullshit. And she's like the only I love Brene Brown.
Yeah, she doesn't like do it for me. I don't know.
I think it's because she has like a kind of like she has a similar attitude to me about things. And I think our weaknesses are the same. So I love her. But yeah, because I watched her TED Talk this week. Not her TED Talk, her special, which was she got because of the success of her TED Talk. Yeah. Okay, that's it for this week. I love episodes like this. Yeah. So we'll kind of go on a Celine Dion spiral. We'll keep you updated if we hear anything else about that. But if you have any other things, I mean, please let them be based in some type of reality. Don't just make stuff up. But because this obviously we could confirm because we looked online and there were like pieces of things. Again, this is all allegedly. Mm-hmm. I'm Corinne Fisher. You can find me online at Philanthropy Gal.
And I'm Rosebud Baker. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter at Rosebud Baker.
And this is produced by Mike Coscarelli. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next Monday. Bye.